Hello, welcome. Today we'll be looking at civic education, and under civic education we'll be looking at the components of civic education. Now in our first grade and second grade we look at the definition of civic. We also look at the importance of physics. So in this grade 3 we'll be looking at the components of civic education. And what is this component talking about? It's talking about what civic education is made of. That's just it. So it's going to be interesting where we'll pay rapt attention to understand more on this topic. Okay, firstly, what are the rights and responsibilities? Now, right and responsibility is number one of the components of civic education. Right is what we enjoy as a citizen from the government, while responsibility is what we must do as a citizen of a particular country or a specific country. Now let's look at the right. We have right to vote, right to education, right to personal liberty, right to life, right to religion. Now all these rights are the things we enjoy. Now let's look at what we must do, which are the responsibilities. Number one, we must pay our tax. Now this tax helps the government to fix amenities and make provisions for the citizens as well. Now number two, obeying the rules and regulations of the country. Yes, there are some parts of the country that says, oh, every Thursday you must clean your environment, you must do sanitation, and rules and regulation has to do with the do's and don'ts of a particular country or states, especially where you find yourself. We also have reporting crimes and criminal activities to the government. How do we do that? Either we report to the police or the safeguards or security guards, which we take it up from there. We also have protecting of government's properties. Now, whatever the government provides for us, we are supposed to make sure they are always in good shape. Like the road should also be kept in good shape. Now we also have talent fulfillment. Now this civic education will help us to showcase our talent, and it makes it easier for our talent to be known. Now what is this talent? Talent is what we were born with, what we can do at free will without any training. We can do them perfectly. Then we also have freedom of citizens. Now when we look at freedom of citizens, freedom to move, freedom to life, freedom to do whatsoever you want to do. Then we also have open-mindedness. It helps us to speak up, say our mind. Whenever we are not comfortable with the government, we speak our mind. We always hear our opinion. Always hear your opinion. That's why if you're conversant watching news, you see people talking about things that they are not comfortable with, or things that they want the government to put in place. Now we also have healthy competitions. Yes, healthy competitions. It helps us to have competitions which are healthy. Then we have democratic practices. And lastly, we have academic freedom. Academic freedom can also be known as freedom to education or freedom of education. Now, let's look at the dimension. Dimension are the aspects of civic education. Remember what we just discussed is components of civic education. Now, let's look at the dimension. Dimension has to do with aspects. We have diverse aspects of civic education, and I will list them one after the other. Number one, we have political dimension, we have social dimension, we have economic dimension, we have legal dimension, we have economic dimension, and we also have cultural dimension. Cultural dimension. These are the dimensions that we will have. Now, when you talk about political dimension, they help us to have political knowledge. Yes, it helps us to have political knowledge. Now, cultural helps us to know the different ways of life some persons observe things. Okay, so now I'll be asking questions on what I just discussed, and if you have questions, you can also send in your questions.